Hey y'all, welcome back to another video of my creative life with Kel Sweetie. Today we are getting into my Christmas crafts, and these are some of them. I am in the middle of decorating and crafting at the same time. I highly don't recommend it, but time is ticking, and I like to get my Christmas up before Thanksgiving. One, because my partner loves Christmas, as do I, and we do like to have the Christmas cheer up for about 2 months. And since we travel back to my homeland of Ohio during Thanksgiving, it's just so much easier to come home and see all the Christmas stuff. So we like to have it up by November, or at least the first 2 weeks of November, and have it up into the new year. So I'm running behind. I have a lot of crafts for all of the different themes I have going on this year. I should already have out my Christmas planning video right now, so you can go check that out to get an idea of what I'm doing this year in each one of my designated locations in my house. As y'all know, I love to have one cohesive look, but many different themes. And one of those themes that's going on in my kitchen is a bakery, a Christmas old school bakery type of thing. It's one of the more exciting ones that I'm doing because I had so much fun doing my kitchen during Halloween. So I expect to have a great time during Christmas time decorating it, because it's, for most years, it's just been kind of a second thought, and this year has been a forefront. These that you see in front of you are all fake. I am so excited to show y'all how I made these. I'm so proud of these. I am so proud. Look at these. These are fake. This is fake. These cookies are all fake. These are not real candy canes. Y'all will see these in a close-up, but I've tricked my family members, my partner's family members, into thinking that these are real because they've been sitting on our dining room table because I needed room for other crafts I was doing. And they were like, "What are these cakes?" And my partner was like, "Those aren't real." And really, it was so easy making these, y'all. I can't wait to show y'all how I made them. It is literally just foam and foliage from Michael's, and spackle and paint. Is that it? Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, these are Sculpey, and that's it. I only use Sculpey to make these. These are even easier, and it's really just a trick of twisting. So I can't wait to show y'all that, because I learned that trick, and now I'm going to be making a ton of these little fake candy canes to go on our 90s themed Christmas tree this year, because I just don't want real candy on my Christmas tree. I don't want mice. Living where we are in LA, it is possible, and I do not want to bring it in. But these, I'm so proud of them. So let's get into me showing you how I made these. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not. If you want to see me use all of these, decorate videos are coming soon. But let's get into these. I'm so excited to show y'all, and I'll come right back and at the end of the whole tutorial and show y'all my favorites, and we can kind of get into it a little closer. Okay, let's get into the fake bakes. Here I'm showing you the silicone baking molds that I got, and all you need is that and this great stuff gap filler. This is the year of expanding foam for me, obviously, if you've seen my other Craft Me videos, and it's because it's just so easy and amazing. I got that big pound cake mold from the thrift store for really cheap. So again, like, don't go out and break the bank. These smaller ones are from Michael's, and I bought them new, but they were on clearance for some reason, and I got them for $3. So again, do not break the bank with this craft. It's the reason why we're crafting it in the first place. You're going to spray both of those as much as you can, for the most part, with that spray foam. I needed 2 cans for both of those. So There you go. That's all you basically need for that. And then right here, we're going to start our gingerbread fake bake cookies while that sets, because you're going to need at least 24 hours for the cakes to set. That's really, really important. I thought that I could speed up the time. You can't just wait it out, and while you're waiting, you can make all the rest of your goodies. I used foam clay for these gingerbread cookies. My October Halloween craft with me, I made some fake bake cookies and I used air dry clay. I wish I would have used foam clay. I think the best clay to use would be dough clay or salt clay, and I just didn't have the time to try and experiment with that or make it. So foam clay it is if you're looking for something easy and not time consuming. That being said, on time consuming, don't do as I just did. Definitely do not try and color that big of a foam clay mound. You want to break it down, because this took me forever until I finally got that I needed to break it down in order to get it to this color. I just don't do as I did. It took me so long. The foam clay is going to absorb that acrylic like nobody's business. I don't know if it's because of how much water content is in it as opposed to pigment. Keep in mind, I'm using CRAFTS paint, and that's like 69 cents a tube. I'm trying not to break the bank. I think maybe if I used more expensive acrylic or higher pigmented acrylic, it would have maybe gone faster. But again, it's doable. Just break it down. Here I'm taking just a simple gingerbread man cutter in order to cut these cookies just like they are actual cookies. This is like so easy. I really had fun doing this because, in all honesty, once you had your materials together, it was just like making any other cake or cookies or anything like that, especially once you get to the decorating portion. And I cannot wait to show you all that. Again, do not break the bank. These little gingerbread cutter I got from Target for $1. The one with the handle and everything, again, got it for $1 at the thrift store. Even the circles over there, which I barely even used, those were on clearance at Michael's for really cheap. So again, it's not, you spending a lot of money is not going to make your end result better. Okay, you just saw me discard a gingerbread man. Why is that? Because this foam clay, it's really difficult to work with if it's too thin. Make sure that your cuts with your cutter are as solid as they can be, because it's really malleable and it's going to be very hard, like gum, to have it release from itself. So just be sure when you're cutting them out that you're cutting them as much as you can. Like really make sure that you're getting through the clay. Here you're seeing something that I tried to do and I absolutely failed. And that was to make these little truffles using the foam clay. I think that this was a good idea. I think it would have been fun. But for this specifically, I do recommend that you maybe use air dry clay. Using the foam clay, it was too soft and it couldn't really hold the shape. So when I pulled it out of the mold, it didn't look right. Maybe use some expanding foam. That's a possibility too. Here, I'm going to be making my fake candy canes. All you need is some Sculpey. Get the Sculpey 3 because it's softer, a clay gun, extruder, and I mean, you can get this special cutter if you want. It was cheap in a clay making pack. You want to also get white and pearl or translucent Sculpey clay. This is really important. As you see, I'm combining both of those, and you may be saying, I don't get, like, those things are both white. Actually, it really adds to the candy aesthetic. What ends up happening is that pearl, which I was supposed to get translucent, they gave me pearl, but it actually ended up working out even better in my opinion, because the pearl gives it a slight sparkle that feels like old candy cane. Feels like candy. Now the translucent, I'm pretty positive will do just the same, just a different kind of effect, but will make it feel more dynamic in the sense of the fact that, you know, candy is translucent. Hard candy is translucent when you put it up to, you know, a light or anything. So I really, really recommend that if you are doing this, make sure to get white and pearl or translucent Sculpey to mix in together to make these little logs. That's going to be the white of your candy cane. You're going to then take your red. Now this is just, I'm pretty positive this is just called red. Like, it's the reddest, brightest color they had. I end up not even using that green, but the green was an option. I wanted to combine them at one point. I don't know. I may still end up doing that for my tree. I'm still on the fence about it though, because this turned out so classic looking and so great. Here you'll see that I'm using that extruder, and I'm going to show you why that extruder is important. One, it's for uniformity. If I had to make all of these little small logs with my hands, one, I know for a fact they wouldn't be uniform, and I know that it would have taken me forever, especially these super small ones. And really, the really small like lines are what's going to make it look that much more real when you start twisting your candy cane. These are what make it. That little clay extruder was like $1. Like, again, it's craft smart. You don't need to break it's my ongoing mantra for these crafts. Don't break the bank. It's the whole reason we're crafting it in the first place, you know? So here I'm taking the larger one of those extruded bits, and I'm putting 2 on each side of the logs that I mixed up with the pearl and the white. You're going to want to do anything you do on one side, you want to do on the other side. It's important for the uniformity once you start twisting and everything. This is how I've learned to make these, and honestly, it makes sense, especially when you watch a lot of candy videos on Instagram. It starts to make sense because you're like, oh, I get it, because the rolling and all of that, it just trust me here. In between those double lines, I'm putting my smaller extruded logs. Those are and again, you're going to put it one side, and then you're going to see me put it on the other side. That way, it's going to completely cover it. Even right now, you may be going, oh, it kind of looks like a very, very long piece of one of those, like, mint candies, like the little square mint candies that aren't a full candy cane. And that's good. I mean, you know, if I would have used the green, you could interchange something. The main thing is if you put something on one side, you want to go on the very opposite side of the log and do the same on the other side. That is what you want to do, regardless of what color or shape or whatever you end up going with for your specific candy canes. I'm now going to roll it out to make it longer. As I'm rolling it out, I am twisting it. This is important. This is how you're going to get that twist going. I found that if I kind of pick it up, and you see here where I'm kind of twisting as I roll it out and everything, you want to like make sure you're getting, I wanted a deep twist. So I ended up just picking it up and twisting it myself and then rolling it out. That worked for me personally. I saw a lot of other guides twisting it as they were rolling it, which kudos to them. I couldn't get that technique down. So I ended up just twisting as I rolled it out. You want to roll it out, I want to say about 12 inches. This here is about 12 inches or so, and I got 2 candy canes out of this, and I liked the thickness. The thickness is really important as well, and here I felt like the thickness, it made sense. It was easy for me to measure out, especially using my cutting board that again, it's just a Craft Smart clay cutting board. Honestly, this does make it easier if you're doing any of these clay projects to put it on kind of a glass thing like this. This I got on sale from Michael's, I want to say for $7 because I got 50% off during some sale. But again, it was really cheap. You want to cut it in half and then roll it again. This is going to get the perfect thickness, at least for me, and what I was going for my candy canes. And also, if your spiral seems to be kind of loosening, don't worry, just twist it again. Nothing's permanent until it goes in that oven, so you can, even if your twist isn't really working out with you rolling it out, you can twist them just a little bit before you hit them in the oven. And just follow the instructions on the Sculpey in order for you to heat them up. It's so easy. Here's how those cakes turned out. I was so excited. I can't believe that it worked. Apparently, expanding foam does not stick to silicone, and that's why this worked, which honestly opens up a whole new world of ideas and possibilities for molds in the future. I cannot wait to see like the possibilities for maybe next year's holidays, what I may decide to do now knowing that information. Here, again, I didn't really mix up much of any paint. I just used, I think this was Golden Brown by the CraftSmart brand. And what I loved is that under color of the expanding foam was kind of a light yellow. So it already gave off a cake-like texture. And so if you see, especially on the larger piece of cake, you kind of see some of that coming through. And I really, really like that. Here as well, you see our finished gingerbread cookies. Now, I cured these faster by putting them in the oven in spurts of, I want to say in spurts of 10 minutes. You don't want to put it in too long because these really expand, and if you see those wrinkles, that's because of the foam literally expanding in the oven. And that's why you had to come and bring it back out of the oven so it comes back down, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. It was a lot. If I didn't do it that way, I would have had to wait for them to cure for a whole 24 hours, which would have been fine, but I was impatient. I took some dark brown and I put that over, I kind of dry brushed it over all of the pastries to give them more of a baked look. Here is the fun part. It's the decorating. You see here, I am using some spackle. It's just plain old spackle, and I'm putting it in a piping bag. Again, I got a cheap piping bag set from Michael's. It had some cheap tips on it and everything because I knew I was going to use it for spackle, and I didn't want to, I wanted tips, but I didn't want to ruin something that was nice. Don't go out and get some Winston type stuff. Like, just use the cheap stuff. This is the funnest part. Honestly, I really feel like this could be such a fun craft for you to do with family during the holidays. If you throw Friendsmas parties, this could be really fun to do for people to make their own gingerbread ornaments or fake bake ornaments. I think that this could be something that would be a really fun activity and people would get a kick out of it, and it would be easy cleanup, slow lift, and people like piping things. Like, once you start getting that piping bag, this is so much fun. The little dressels that I'm using here, those are fake, and they're just simply, I pulled off some berries from some picks from Michael's. That is it. If you've seen some of my other decorating videos, I love to take apart the foliage and everything that you get from Michael's, and this here is an example of it. I simply pulled off those berries from the stems, and it made these dressels. The little sugared cranberries, those were from a base filler. It was really cheap, and so I bought those. I loved how those looked. And up in the top left-hand corner, you see our finished candy canes that are fresh out of the oven. Those turned out so good. Really, do whatever you want here with the spackle. Once I started to feel more comfortable with the bag of spackle, piping was so easy. And you really want to have fun with this. I don't feel like, especially with the gingerbread people and everything, I wanted it to feel like we had decorated them and had fun decorating them. So while some of the cakes are a little bit nicer, I want to say, they weren't like, overdone. And that was fine for me because I was going for a more vintage look. But you can definitely make this much more colorful if you wanted to. You could color your spackle. Here, if you notice, there's some that have sprinkles. And that's just simply me taking those little extruded bits from the clay tube and cutting those up and putting those in the oven. And then I basically made sprinkles. That was so easy. I had a little bit of some of the candy cane left, and I cut those up and I made those into small candies. This was so much fun, and I cannot recommend it enough.